Hi, this is Mike Regan with TransAct's 2-Minute Warning for the week of November 17th. In this week's 2-Minute Warning, we want to talk about how smart, savvy shippers are actually able to lower their LTL rates. Over the past couple of months, I've been involved in a lot of conferences and industry meetings, had Zoom calls, speaking to financial analysts, been in various magazines talking about how shippers can lower their LTL freight costs. Well, that's generated a lot of calls and people saying, how do you actually do that? After all, the carriers are coming at us with general rate increases. They're not talking about decreases. Well, having done billions and billions of dollars worth of sourcing events over the years, our TransAct customers get the best rates already. But if you're not a TransAct customer, there's a proprietary process that we use that creates and gets great results. That process is based on a couple of steps. First of all, what we want to do is benchmark your rates so you know where you're at relative to where the market's at. Maybe you can't get savings, but more often than not, about 90% of the time, there are potential savings involved if you follow these types of steps. First, you need to decide, before you invite carriers to bid, find out where they want to run their freight. Now, that flies in the model of the traditional sourcing model that a lot of companies use. We want to leverage our purchasing power, use as few carriers as possible. The problem with that approach is that when you do that, you force carriers to run freight in lanes that are not profitable for them, which means a higher operating ratio and higher rates. Now, the next thing we want to do is, once we know where the carriers will want run their freight, we want to know what the cost to serve our operations is going to look like. Well, how do you do that, Mike? You go to TransAct, download the carrier yield test, and give it to the carriers and say, grade us. Tell us about the things that we do. We want a report card from you. I know that you say, what? We're the ones that give the report cards around here. We don't get report cards from the carriers. You do if you want to lower your rates, because you get a ton of information. Things about what happens at your customers' docks, your suppliers' docks, when the carriers are picking up or dropping off freight. It's all in that carrier yield test. Now that brings us to point number 3. That one of the things we really strongly encourage companies to do is to look at the 6 attributes that people like Jeff Musing has shared with us. You can go to transact.com, download a copy of that, or listen to the interview that we did with Rob Estes last year, talking about how the LTL carriers are approaching the market right now. When you do that, it leads you to say, maybe we ought to take advantage of that TransAct LTL assessment process that we go through, where we walk you through all the steps that you can use to actually lower your freight costs from A to B. Which carriers want to haul the freight, where they want to haul it, the cost, the whole 9 yards. If you're interested in learning more about how that assessment can generate savings for you, simply send me an email or give us a call, because with each and every 2-minute warning, we're here to remind you we are on your team. We're here to help. And we're passionate about seeing you be successful. Thanks for your time.